Bitch, let's
Hey!
get it. Ooh.
Boom. Okay. Welcome to chapter 21 of the TimTom podcast saga. We're still on our quest for great music. All right. Well, no, we found great music. We're kind of just like bumbling around now without a quest. Just finding whatever finds us. All right. So it's been a pretty dry week. Not the most busy week. Not
certainly projects-wise.
Full of great projects. I know Hyperion dropped, but we were already feeling it. So we're going to do Underrated Artist Numero Dos.
Part 2.
Okay? Yeah. The sequel. Underrated Artist 2, Electric Boogaloo. Here it goes. I'm going to talk about Hiatus Kiayote. And Tom is going to talk about
Blood Orange.
A very, very good fruit. Underappreciated fruit, might I add. Then we're going to do 3 singles.
You need those vitamins this time of year, honestly.
It's a nice, bitter taste. We're going to do Low High by the Black Keys. Then we're going to do Num Num Juice by our boy Schoolboy Q. And then we're going to do Left Hand by the first track dropped from this new outfit, Beast Coast.
Yeah, collection of outfits. More on that later.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to talk about this group. Hiatus Kiayote.
I've never heard of, so it's an education for us all.
Yeah. And I really hope I can convince you, Tom, to listen to them because I know you're just going to love them. All right. Okay. So if I'm going to sum them up in one kind of phrase, or to sum the music up, they're kind of a jazz soul group with some very strong funk elements and also some slight math rock influences. I know that math rock is your favorite genre of music, so I think you're gonna love it. Yeah, exactly. So like some of the things that you're gonna notice on the tracks is they're just full. What's happening there, man? You alright? Did you just fall into hell?
No, I just moved.
All right, sweet.
Slightly.
So they have like loads and loads and loads of very, very cool jazzy guitars, which play these very strange diminished chords, and the pianos as well, some of which can have some really nice ballads to them in some of their other songs. The production is always really, really layered and deep, and there's these beautiful drums and bass which complement the melodies on the pianos and the guitars, providing more structure and rhythm to the songs. They're really, really well composed, with stellar performances across the board, always on every single song. I'm going to say, definitely on Choose Your Weapon, their second album. There's not a bad track on it. There's not a dead track, my dude. But the really standout part is the vocals. The vocalist is this... her voice sounds a bit like Amy Winehouse, but kind of more jazzy and more sort of more playful at times. Or no, I'm not sure. Not necessarily more playful. She just has this great sense of playfulness and experimentation in her voice, and she also knows her voice really well. She knows exactly what notes she can hit, and she stays in this very broad range, but she's able to go from the very top to the very bottom and back again. And it's not a strain for her. She's just like really masterful use of her own voice. It's really, really good. And it stands out that when I first listened to them, like that was the part that really, really stood out to me. Her voice, man. Really good vocals. It's some of the best out there. And so there's so much soul and versatility to her voice. It's kind of listening to her sing, as well as the guitars, the pianos, bass, and drums. It's like watching a very well choreographed interpretive dance piece. It's really, really cool. The instrumentation is really, really, truly a treat. It's very artful. It's very experimental at times. They use a lot of tempo changes in some of their songs to very good effect, and they can build some really effective, impressive climaxes in their songs. And yeah, so they only have 2 albums. I've only listened to one, Choose Your Weapon, which it's got a ton of hits on YouTube, I'm pretty sure. It's just one that just hit the algorithm right. Partly because they have a really good album cover, which doesn't like sell their music at all. The album cover is of this like baboon with flaming hands screaming, and it's called Choose Your Weapon in this like really 80s font. And you think it's gonna be 80s synth or some kind of rock, but it's not. It's this really jazzy, soulful treat. So it kind of, I don't know how that works. There's a bit of like dissonance there between that. But they have another album, which came out a few years before, and then they have a fair few EPs. One of which is very good. It's Recalibrations Volume 1. And that's obviously, it's just a bunch of remixes of their songs. There's a fair amount of their songs have been remixed by various DJs, and they've also stuck a bunch of features from some very good artists. One of which, Tom, you are you're a very big fan of. So I think you'll really like the song that
Who is that?
You will find out whomst it is soon. They also have a Spotify sessions, which was done in 2016. Yeah, they have a fair amount of stuff, and it really annoys me that I don't hear as much about them because honestly, they are one of the best. I think they're just one of the best bands out there, and I really, really don't like the fact that I don't hear as many people like playing their songs, knowing about their songs. People are just like, "Who the hell is that, dude?" You gotta listen to them. Okay. So I'm going to talk about 3 of their songs, which I think will be very good to give you a taste of what their music is like, and then to introduce you to them and kind of hopefully you'll like them. 3 introductory tracks. All right. I'm not going to go through an entire album because it's going to take too long because I have too much to say. All right. Nakamura or maybe Nakamara. I'm not sure. But
where are they from? Maybe that would give a hint.
I do not know. Yeah, I have no idea, man. I think they're American. I'm not sure. So Nakamura, this is the one featuring Q-Tip.
Ooh.
It's this really upbeat track featuring Q-Tip. It has great tempo and very dreamy instrumentation and shows off the vocalists very well. If you're going to listen to them for the first time, it's their most listened to song on Spotify with 19 million hits. So, I mean, it's not like no one's listening to them. It's just I haven't met anyone who's listened to them. So, in that way, they're underrated, in my opinion. But yeah, so it has this very dreamy instrumentation as well as showing off the vocalist very well. She gracefully, like deftly plays through the track, and Q-Tip has a good feature later in, and that's another thing. They don't do rap beats. They do kind of soulful, jazzy stuff, but it's just able to be rapped over because they have a very good sense of tempo. Yeah, the drum beats, man. Okay, I guess it is a kind of hip hop beat that they use sometimes, but it's all live drums. None of it is a drum sample. They have a live drummer who does it. It's similar to Bad Bad Not Good in that sense, because Bad Bad Not Good, they modeled their music off of hip hop beats, and then like the drum beats and Bad Bad Not Good stuff is just insane. But honestly, this is very similar, and I know you like Bad Bad Not Good, so I reckon you're gonna like this, man.
Okay, well, if there was anyone to rap over jazz, I think Q-Tip would be that guy.
Maybe Mick Jenkins. Okay, then we got Molasses, which is that's one of the leading songs off of Choose Your Weapon, and like honestly, man, just look at the album cover now. It's awesome.
Flames are blue.
Yeah, it's awesome. And then in one of the remixes that is DJ's done, the flames are red. So cool. And that's a remix of Breathing Underwater, which is that's one of my favorite songs by them. Yeah. This that one just has album's really, really, really dreamy. I think they use I think they do use a glockenspiel or something like that. There's they use so many instruments, man. It's really cool. Molasses has this really, really strong bass line which follows the vocals, just like on that Solange album, how the synth followed Solange as she spoke that one bit, that spoken word piece. The bass line follows the vocals as it goes up and down and around and stuff. The drums go very the drums are really strong and the guitar is very smooth. It's all layered in very well. There's some great harmonies. That's another thing. Her vocals alone are very good. When she does harmonies, where she'll sing one piece, then harmonize it, and they'll layer it on top, harmonize it again, layer it in between. Man, it's so good. It has this great full sound, and it almost becomes like hypnotic. It's a really great intro to them. And the final song I'm going to talk about is a remix. It is on the Recalibrations Volume 1 EP, and it is La Puta, the Taylor McFerrin remix, featuring Anderson .Paak.
What?
Yeah! And I think it's like the best thing I've heard him on, full stop. I got it mixed up with Glowed Up in my head because it has a very similar vibe to Glowed Up. How when like Anderson .Paak really goes into it, it's kind of a kind of bridge or a beat drop sort of thing, and it's a bit of an obscure soundscape going on. But they're kind of similar songs, but La Puta is even better, man. It's if you like Glowed Up, you're gonna love this song. It's my favorite of their tracks, and it is a remix. But it uses their instrumentation so well. It amplifies it. It's as I said, it has these glowed up sort of vibes, but it's softer and it with dreamy keys and again just awesome vocals. There's several tempo changes and there's great soul to the track as well. Then the vocalist kind of does a half rap spoken word piece, which is also very hypnotic, and it's just overall it has this very nice, blissful, dreamy vibe to it. And oh man, you're just in for a treat with them. It is so good. And yeah, I just can't recommend them enough. Honestly, it's that jazzy, dreamy, soulful vibe throughout the whole of their discography, man. And it's so good. There's no crazy solos. There's no like great bridges with deviations where it'll be like a 2 minute long solo and something crazy will happen. Instead, everything's a well-oiled machine. Everything's very well practiced. They know exactly what they want to do and know exactly what they're doing, and they go in and they do it. And it's so accurate and so precise. That's the kind of yeah, it's impressive. That's what I'd say. Impressive. And they're one of my favorite artists. I've listened to them on and off, and I really started listening to them last year. And it was underrated artists. So I thought, I haven't heard anyone else talk about them ever. And people need to know about this band. They're so good. And I reckon we should see them live sometime. But yeah, Hiatus Kiayote, man. You got to check them out. Okay.
Yeah, as Blueface would say. Maybe I should have done Blueface.
Who's
But
Blueface?
for now...
Blue Man Group?
No. Okay, if that is where you'll conclude...
Yeah, that's where I'm concluding.
Then I would like to talk about the benefits of eating a blood orange. It can give you lots of vitamin C.
Yeah.
And
it has a very pleasantly bitter taste. Works very well in the San Pellegrino blood orange. The best.
Yeah, it's an underrated juice.
There is. Definitely, man. Definitely. And I guess
there is also a British funk, soul, and R&B band with the same name.
Well, I thought you were just going to talk about blood oranges for like 15 minutes.
Not today. This isn't a food vlog. The band is headed by singer, songwriter, and producer Devante Hines from Islington.
Oh.
And they've recently been making a very meteoric rise to everyone's attention thanks to their last album. The latest album, even. Negro Swan. But I'll get to that in a second.
Damn, what a name. That's pretty cool.
And the album cover's fire as well.
I'll look it up now.
So I'm going to start this off by talking a little bit about their debut album, Coastal Groove.
Mm-hmm.
It was their only album to feature no production from Dev whatsoever. It was instead by someone called Ariel Ratshayad. I've never heard of. And it also was the only one to have no vocal guests either.
Right, that's strong.
It was an interesting listen. I only listened to it when I decided I was going to do this, so I thought I'd have a taste of all their
that makes sense. Yeah.
And instrumentally, it reads a lot like an indie band that occasionally uses funky grooves.
Okay.
And the vocals in some parts actually made him sound, with the guitars as well, made it sound a bit like the Smiths, which is really weird.
Okay, yeah.
Considering that I'd heard their other stuff be so like funky and chilled out.
Yeah.
But the popular songs from this one would be Sutphin Boulevard and Champagne Coast. To me, I quite liked Forget It, and that is one thing that I think will keep coming up. They always open the album with a very good song.
Yeah.
And then the two singles were quite good as well as Schooled, but instead of a H, it's S dash and then Cooled.
Oh,
very cool.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. And the complete knock, which has an amazing guitar playing throughout, and that was probably the only instrumental that really stood out to me on this album. The rest of them were a bit weak, and I thought the vocals at times were a bit crap as well. So maybe not the best introduction. I think the next album, Cupid Deluxe or Freetown Sound, would be a much better intro for someone else, or indeed Negro Swan, because that's
I've listened to one of the tracks off of that album. It came up in like one of my mixes, and I thought it was just one guy. I didn't know it was an entire band.
Well, he gets lots of people involved, but I think there's been different people involved in every album. He's the only constant.
Okay. That's a pretty cool idea, though. I guess does every album have its own distinct sound then?
A little bit. I think I'll touch on that in a moment.
Okay.
Also, this was the second album, Cupid Deluxe, and another thing that apart from Negros, or even the Negros one to an extent, the album covers are quite bizarre.
Yeah, I just saw the album cover for Negro Swan, and that's pretty strange with him wearing some angel wings, hanging out of a limo or something. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
This one features wall-to-wall production from Dev, apart from one track with Clams Casino. And it has vocals from the likes of David Longstreth of the Dirty Projectors, Caroline Polchek, and Skepta of all people.
On a soul kind of jazzy thing.
Yeah, and this one was the first time they started dabbling into lots of more interesting instrumental choices. So you've got like synths and saxophone in particular on this one, whereas before it was just sort of straight guitars, drums, and that sort of thing.
Okay.
And this one was definitely an improvement and more of an angle into the soul funky direction.
Okay.
With tracks like You're Not Good Enough, Uncle Ace, It Is What It Is, Chosen, High Street featuring Skepta, and Always Let You Down.
How does Skepta's feature work with it? Does it complement it really well?
It sort of works. I mean, I was very intrigued when I saw he was on the track list.
Yeah.
It's not the funkiest number.
No, but it works.
Yeah, it's and this is a theme for all their albums after the debut. They all are synced together very nice, so it flows seamlessly from a track to the next.
Oh, I love
Which
it.
is why I think you'll like them in particular. There were a few peaks and dips on this one, but no terrible songs.
Mm-hmm.
And it had some interesting ideas, like, for example, putting Clams Casino on there and Skepta, of course.
Yeah,
so
that's
sort of a more dabble into some different directions that I didn't expect. Although the Clams Casino one's not particularly good.
no. But experimentation is something we both love to see.
Indeed. And it was, I think overall, it was a good album. I would definitely check it out if you like the next two, because they're superior in my opinion anyway.
Okay.
But I think it put them on the map a bit. Although this one is probably got the most popular song, Freetown Sound. And this is the one where I think where sonically they experimented the most. It's a bit more all over the place in a good way.
Okay.
And it features vocals from Empress of Nelly Furtado and Carly Rae Jepsen.
Empress of Nelly Furtado? What?
Empress of,
okay.
Nelly Furtado.
Oh, right.
Carly Rae Jepsen.
Is she good?
Of Call Me Maybe.
Yeah. Is
decent.
All right. I've never heard her anything except for that song.
Well, it's got. I mean, this is probably as I said before, the most instrumentally different.
Yeah.
Like tracks like Augustine is a bit more low key, and then you got Best to You and Hands Up, which is interesting. And then EVP sounds a bit like a Belle Biv DeVoe song, who are a New Jack Swing band.
Yeah. Well, Tom, I think we're getting some kind of interference or something.
I can hear you fine.
Okay. You sounded... All right, we'll see how it comes out. All right? Keep on. Carry on.
And Better Than Me is probably the most popular song that they've ever released.
Okay.
With some lovely vocals from Dev. But Juicy 1 to 4, that is the funkiest jam they've ever done.
Juicy 94?
1 to 4.
Ah, okay. Does it reference Juicy at all? By our man Smalls?
Oh. No. Oh, and the Nelly Furtado one, Hydron Collider, is quite a good song as well. Good name as well.
Good title.
But I think that this is probably was a good foreshadowing of what was to come next, because it all synced together very well, apart from the final 3 songs that for some reason were just really bad.
Okay.
And I'm not really sure what happened there, but there you go. But again, the vocals at times from Dev could have been kind of weak. But here, that is definitely not the case. This is the album that made them catch my attention. Lots of other people as well. I now know loads of people that had it, and I'm sure if you saw people's top 50 or whatever lists, this album was probably on there.
Top 50 of that year,
yeah,
or
I was just thinking of Melon's one.
Oh, okay, yeah, no problem. I always love listening to an album that really puts an artist on the map. It's a great thing. Yeah. Okay, and then is the last one Negro Swan, the latest?
Yes.
Okay.
The transition between songs, especially like the first 7, is so seamless.
Whoa, I love the sound of that.
You can't tell the difference. They're also funky.
Yeah.
And again, some very popular songs like Chewing Gum and Charcoal Baby. But you've also got Orlando, such a funky opener. Saint, beautiful.
Yeah. I'm not sure what track I've heard of them. I think I might have heard Orlando before. Yeah. I definitely heard one.
Sorry, just to go back 1 second.
No
this
problem.
One has some of the most probably popular features of the lot. We got Puff Daddy on here.
Oh.
Project Pat from 3-6 Mafia, ASAP Rocky, K-Shy, and Steve Lacy.
Oh, damn. Our boy Steve's getting around a bit.
Yeah, and I can't stress enough how many bangers there are. Nappy Wonder's so catchy. Dagenham Dream, very good. Out of Your League, another good one. And Smoke, what an outro. It's just a fantastic album full of highs. And just a great vibe for the 50-minute runtime. So please do check them out.
That sounds like a stellar project, man. Yeah, I'm definitely going to check it out. Damn. Well, thank you. Thank you for enlightening me.
That's all right, man.
Yeah. Okay. And now, single time. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Low High by the Black Keys. This is the first bit of activity we've seen from the Black Keys for a good while. I remember seeing recently a video on YouTube saying, like, what happened to the Black Keys? Where are they? What have they done? I don't know. I guess they've been living their own lives. Dan Auerbach, I think, has dropped like one or two solo things. I don't know if since. But yeah, this is it's welcome in my books. I'm a big fan of the Black Keys. I have been for a good while, and it's good to hear them back doing stuff together.
This is probably the first track I've voluntarily listened to by them.
Now that is a big step, my man. I'm proud of you. It feels like kind of a step back to what their earlier stuff was. Their earlier stuff was kind of a bit garage, like underground blues rock, but also with some of the with like the higher production values of some of the later stuff, especially things like El Camino had some really good production in my opinion, and like really good use of like choirs and stuff, good vocals. So this feels like it's a full-on blues track with a good chorus, effective use of a choir in the background, in my opinion. I like the kind of dirty sound of the guitar, and it does have a very dirty, like kind of grimy sound to it.
That's what I liked about it so much. It sounded quite uncleaned.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what their earlier stuff sounded like, but with more lo-fi. That might be where that title comes from, because I guess they have that kind of lo-fi sound, and they're saying hi to it again, perhaps. But I'm inferring here. Yeah, that kind of dirty sound is that dirty blues. It's kind of that neo kind of blues sound that was happening in the 2000s with the White Stripes and stuff. Then there's the bridge feels that kind of bridge with the guitar solo. It felt very Jack White inspired in my opinion, and it was a welcome like change of direction in the track. And I felt it was a very good length. I think if it were any longer than it's like 2.5 minutes long or something, 2 minutes 45 seconds. I think that's a very good length. I think if it were any longer, it would have outstayed its welcome. I just find that with blues tracks a lot, especially when they're kind of blues tracks with like a fast tempo. They can get old pretty quick. Just because they don't really go anywhere. There's not really tempo changes. It's not like with hip hop where you can just like, or jazz, you can do like a ton of stuff. Blues is very like, as far as I know, like I think it was a very good length, and I appreciate that. It was like there were interesting effects as well used in it, and I was a really big fan of that Jack White inspired bridge though. Very cool shit.
I thought the guitar was very good.
Yeah.
Get the seal of approval.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know they'd get your seal of approval, actually. I was anticipating you to shit all over it, actually.
Oh, why no. Well, I don't do that.
A dozen times when you said the rock is wait, what is it? There's no new ideas of rock or something like that.
Well, that's true.
That is kind of true.
You were saying this was White Stripes inspired.
Yeah. I mean,
not to throw digs. I like the song.
No. I think it wears its influences on its sleeve a bit, but it's good. I think it's a step in the right direction for them, because I'm pretty sure Fever wasn't, the album that I think Fever was the latest album, 2014. I don't think it was met very well. Yeah, but before that, El Camino was bloody great, I feel, and then Brothers as well. Another great album. Yeah. They're good, Tom. I really recommend checking them out. They have some weirder albums as well. There's one. The album cover has like both of them with long hair and beards looking like hobos, and it's a bit more of an acoustic, folky album. That's a good one. Yeah. Okay. Now we're going to talk about Num Num Juice by Schoolboy Q.
The first big release from TDE this year. I'm expecting a lot of releases this year, even not today. Because Kendrick drops every 2 years, and then Q and Absol have both not dropped in about 3 years. But anyway, Schoolboy Q's dropped his first single for his album run. He said it was meant to come out at the end of last year, but because of Mac Miller's death, it sort of put him off.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And he went to have a look at it again and recorded a few new songs, took a few off, I think.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's for the betterment of the project. We got Num Num Juice here, which is a trap inspired banger.
Oh, heavy trap banger in my opinion. And Num Num Juice itself is because when I searched it, it came up with like there's like at least two other songs called Num Num Juice, and I was wondering like, okay, this has to mean something. So I looked it up.
The Click one's really good.
Is that like a 90s hip hop song?
2000.
Okay, it might be.
It is a very good G-Funk song.
But Num Num Juice itself is an alcoholic drink containing vodka, 7-Up, and cranapple juice.
Ooh.
Yeah. I'm falling over. I'm loaded of that on that Num Num Juice E40 Urban Dictionary.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. That's I thought this is a pretty damn cool track. And then when I saw we just watched the video together, and I think the video makes the track, man. The video is so good. So good. The little homies
it's just got so much parody on there. I think it's all parody of something.
Yeah.
Would you like to... If you know a bit of hip-hop or whatever history, you'll sort of see what he's going on with here. It doesn't really... I didn't think at first that it fitted the song that well. But I guess because it's such a sort of energetic, fun song, and then you got all the ridiculousness going on in the visuals. I like it actually. It's definitely whetted the appetite for me.
Yeah,
and I love how it starts with like the acapella and the 2-door coupe hop up like a Jack in the Box, and that he's gonna shoot even if the 30's all that he's got. It's got about 4 or 5 flow switches going on here.
It's very impressive, like really good, and I really loved that video, man. It's so funny, it's so irreverent, especially like at the end, kicks a dude off of a building.
No, bitch slaps.
Hell. Sorry, bitch slaps a dude off a building into hell. Yeah, you can't make that shit up. That's cool. Very. Yeah, and I think when I listened to it the first time, I wasn't the biggest fan of the instrumentation, but when I watched it with the video, I really feel it contributes a lot to the vibe it's going for. How it, as you said, it's this very playful track, and then the kind of the more the heavy bass, it's just out there to have fun.
It's got like a weird little bell thing going on in the background as well. It's not literally just like bass and hi-hats. There is there's something interesting here. Yeah. And I'm thoroughly looking forward to see what's happening next.
Yeah, I hope
Schoolboy Q always welcome in my opinion.
Yeah, I hope there's more stuff there's more tracks like Num Num Juice. I want to try some Num Num Juice. It sounds pretty tasty.
Next party, you'll have to whip out the Num Num Juice.
Yeah, get loaded on it. Okay. Okay, let's talk about Left Hand by Beast Coast. And so I asked if they were a new outfit, a new collective or something like that, and you seem to know what they are.
They originally the Beast Coast thing was described because all 3 of these hip hop, 4 really hip hop groups from the West Coast, the East Coast, sorry, popped up at once. The ASAP Mob, who are not involved in this, but you've also got Pro Era, Flatbush Zombies, and the Underachievers. Okay. And they've all and it was called the Beast Coast Movement because suddenly because the West Coast and the South were dominating. And
Yeah.
then these New York-based groups just appeared, and they collaborated a few times. Like Michi Darko was on Joey Badass's last album, but now they're all together.
Yeah,
for an album.
It's an album.
Yeah, album on the way. It's been confirmed. We don't know when. But
Oh my
at
god,
the time
man.
of recording.
It sounds like a super group.
Well, it's 3 groups.
Yeah.
To become one group, so I guess it is a super group.
That's awesome. This track as well. It just it threw me, man. I had no idea what I was expecting.
And according to Genius, showing someone the left hand is a sign of disrespect because in some cultures, it's the one that you wipe your bottom with.
Yeah.
So even the hook by Michi Darko of Flatbush Zombies, which was the standout thing for me, that was very, very rude indeed, wasn't it?
Oh yes, and it has so many sharp. Or I think at the start there's this. It hits the ground running with this very sharp tempo change into this abstract kind of Latin beat with great production and vocals. Oh yeah, one of the guys' vocals it kind of moves around you from left to right. I thought that was so clever. It was very cool.
But you've got verses from every, not every Pereira member because there are about 8 or 9, but you've got sort of the main rappy ones: Kirk Knight, Joey Badass, and Nick Caution. You've also got a verse from all the Flatbush Zombies members and both of the Underachievers as well. So it was a very good taste all around. I love that. Yeah, like there were so many verses. It was like a proper posse cut, which is what I was hoping this album would be. And yeah, I'm again very excited for this as well.
Yeah, there's like so many different vocals playing all over this, as you just like described.
I think there are
who was
8
on it.
verses.
It's crazy. It has this very obscure instrumental. It feels kind of dark, which is that East Coast vibe. From what I've listened to, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm just talking in general. Like, it feels like the West Coast vibe is kind of more sunny, and there's the G-Funk came from there and stuff. Whereas on the East Coast at a similar time in the 90s, you had people like you had Big L, Biggie. They all have, and Wu-Tang, like they all have kind of those more darker nocturnal sort of beats, which are a bit more not necessarily stark, but they're not as sunny and funky.
Yeah, I know what you mean. This reminded me a lot of when the Wu-Tang and Onyx used to collaborate a little bit.
Yeah, it's really really cool, man. It's really unrelenting tempo, and everyone just goes off of it. I guess because they have so many vocalists, like they're just able to just throw and keep on like throwing punches with their voices, man. It just doesn't give up. Really.
And you got so many different characters involved here as well. So
yeah,
a very eclectic mix, and I can't wait to see what happens.
There was one lyric that like, oh man, it stood out to me. It was like, I loved it. It was saying like, I got dead presidents in my left hand. I mean, dead presidents are obviously just like dollar bills, but it was wicked, really cool. Yeah, just a great track. I'm really looking forward to their stuff as well. I was really hoping it'd be some kind of a new super group. I wasn't entirely sure, but yeah, definitely whetted my appetite, man. I can't wait. Yeah. Okay.
And that concludes this week's edition of the TimTom podcast.
Yeah. We hope you've enjoyed. We hope you'll check out some of the artists.
I'll put the TimTom Juice link in the description, I think.
Or watch it. Yes. And okay. We've had fun. Hope you've had fun too. All right.
The cheese grater scene, man.
I love the getting bitch slapped into hell. I just can't get over that. Okay. Yeah. We'll see you all later.
Until then, goodbye.
Goodbye.